So this is my video demonstrating my Arduino based brewery controller. So I'm going to give a quick overview of what components have been used to build it, and then we're going to go through its first test batch on a black IPA batch of beer. So to get started, let's see what this is comprised of. To begin with, we're going to go over the controller, and then from there we'll move on and see what's in the kettle. So on the controller we have our control panel with our switches. We have a main power switch for the Arduino, the power switch for a pump. This is the emergency stop, and here is our rotary encoder for selecting and changing the variables of the menu. We also have two LEDs to indicate when the burner is on and when the heater is off. On the back of the control panel we have this relay controlled outlet. As you can see, it's labeled normally off here, normally on. So basically the Arduino sends a signal to the outlet and it'll turn these two on. It'll turn that one off. This one here is where the main power for the Arduino is actually plugged in, and it's an always on outlet. The whole system is plugged into a GCFI outlet. Anytime you're dealing with water and electricity, you want to make sure you have the protection needed. And then we'll open it up and see what's inside. Okay, so here's the inside. This is the Arduino Uno, which is the main brain for the controller. Here's where the pump and the Arduino both get their power from. And then there you can see the breadboard with all the wiring for all the components. As well as up here, the wiring for the switches and the LCD. On this side of the control panel we have, this is the connection for the pump, and this is where the temperature controller comes out, or the temperature sensor. Temperature sensor comes up, and this is right there in the liquid. On the kettle we have, this is where the connections are made for the hot water heater element, which is in the bottom of the kettle there. It's a 1500 watt, 120 volt element. All the connections were covered with some epoxy, and then this whole enclosure is filled with silicone to be sure no liquid can get inside of it. On the front of the kettle here we have a valve that can control the flow from this pump. It's 12 volt, they're called solar pumps. And this simply is used to recirculate the mash back up to the top of the kettle just to make sure we get an even temperature throughout. So yeah, that's basically the main components. So now we'll run through the menu and we'll start our brew day. So the first part of our brew day is going to be getting our water up to our temperature. So to begin, we're going to turn the unit on. See, we get our welcome sign, and then it's going to ask for our temperature. We're going to mash at 67 degrees Celsius. So we put it to 67 degrees, click to submit. We want to mash for an hour, and we'll verify our choices. Temperature 67, time for 60 minutes. So that's all good, and we'll begin. So you can see the LED switched from off to on, and now our element is starting to heat the water. So we will also turn on our pump. This will give us our circulation to ensure everything is heated evenly. And once that reaches temp, it'll alert us, and we'll go from there. We've just about reached our temperature. Just about. Now that we've reached our temperature, we've gone ahead and added the grain bag. I use a brew in a bag system. This keeps the grain separated from the hot water heater element, and it makes it easier to remove, so we can do the whole process in one pot. So now that we've reached our temperature, we're going to add our grain, and we're going to begin the mash. Alright, so here we are. We're a little over halfway done. Temperature is holding pretty steady now. We had some issues with the mash being so thick. It was hard to get even temperatures throughout, but it did manage to eventually even out, and yeah, we're looking good. Alright, so we're just wrapping up our mash here. 10 seconds, and then it's going to let us know when we're done. So the mash is finished. So we're going to remove the grain bag with all the grain. And then, as you can see, we're going to press to move on to the boil. Alright, so the grain bag has been removed with all the grains. So we're ready to start our boil now. So we'll just press the boil. We want to boil for 60 minutes. And here we go. Now it'll heat this up until it's boiling. So you can kind of see where the heater started working. And then we'll alert us once it's boiled. We'll make our first hop addition, and we'll be on our way. So our boil's just about to wrap up. You see it finished the boil. Turned off the element. See, the element's turned off, so it almost instantly stops boiling. And that's it. I'll transfer this to a ferment it for 21 days probably, and we'll be done.